Hi everyone, it's Rob Cosman from sellingfromthebeach.com and OAmasterclass.com. In this video, I want to give you the ultimate beginner's guide to Keepa. I'm going to say beginners, but it's definitely more than just beginners. But if you've never seen Keepa before, I'm going to take you from, okay, we're brand new to Keepa. Let's understand exactly what it is, what it can do, how to use it, and then we'll go into more detail. But for now, let's just get started. This is one of the most important tools that you will use as an Amazon seller. I know that there's so many different tools out there that you could use, but Keepa is, to me, the be-all, end-all. The one thing I need other than my seller app is Keepa, okay? So I'm going to walk you through exactly kind of what Keepa is and how to use it to start with. So what is Keepa? Keepa is a company that has created a massive data management and tracking software for Amazon marketplaces. And it's not just .com or .ca, but there's multiple marketplaces. As you're going to see in this video, we're mainly going to use it for Amazon.ca and .com because those are the key markets that I sell in, okay? But they also cover a lot more. You want to remember that Keepa is a data software tool. It's not some all-seeing Terminator that is scanning every single listing in the marketplace every 30 seconds. It does scan, but it gathers data when users like me click on listings or run scans and things like that, okay? It does check on listings. It updates a database, sends out alerts. More on that later. But remember, Keepa isn't all kinds of 100% perfect. It's data and it's using when you're clicking on listings and whatnot. So don't think that it's scanning everything all the time, okay? That's a common misconception. So by understanding that, then when we look at the data and we look at graphs and interpret things, then you're going to understand why we see drops and whatnot, okay? So let's get started. So this is the main Keepa page, okay? When you first come here, this is what you're going to see. So for now, I have it selected to Amazon.ca. You can choose different drop downs here, the different marketplaces. So I'm going to go through, we'll probably do CA and .com, but this is the main page you're going to get. There's an app. I use the app a little bit. It's okay, but mainly everything I do is on Google Chrome. Okay, so step one, you want to get a Keepa account. Now, I suggest getting the paid plan. There's a free one, but we want the premium features and the access. So I know you can spend a lot of money on software, and as a brand new seller, you want to keep that money in your pocket and spend it on inventory, but I would suggest signing up for the monthly premium because we want to see the premium features like sales ranks and data and stuff like that. Okay, so just do it from the start. Then you're going to get the Keepa plugin. So this is the main site. Well, as you can see, let me flip back here. These are all the different plugins. So all the usual browsers. So I use Google Chrome a lot, and I install it. So I've got that on my Amazon listings, which I'll show you. But you want to do this. So whichever your main browsers you want to use, get the Chrome, get the plugin, and don't worry about it. Just do that, okay? But you can also use the website. So we use the website to look up things. We'll look at deals and drops, but what you want to have is the plugin so that as you're browsing Amazon, you're always looking at things. It pops up on that actual Amazon listing, okay? What do we want to use Keepa for? Lots of stuff. We're going to look at sales rank. We're going to look at historical pricing. We can look at buy box statistics and a whole lot more. But the first thing I want to make sure that everybody understands what BSR is and what historical bestseller rank is, okay, before we go any farther. So let's just quickly pop in so we can see something here. What did I click on earlier? Say this. Okay. This is what a Keepa chart looks like, and we're going to talk about all these different things in a minute, but right now, what we're looking at is the green line. This is the BSR, the sales rank, okay? And I have mine set up so that the lower, see on this side, starts at 70,000, goes all the way down to 10. So the lower the sales rank here, the lower this one, the line is. So that's better. The lower the sales rank, the more it should be selling, okay? So the BSR is a key metric for us. The BSR is shown on the listing under the product details and assigned to all product categories. There can be main categories and there can be subcategories. Like, see how we've got toys and games as a main category, and then we've got board games as a subcategory. I'm usually not too concerned about the subcategories. I usually just care about the first one. But what we want to understand is it's important to remember that BSRs are relative. The bestseller rank is just relative. It's relative to each sales category, but it's also relative to the time of the year. So a BSR of 10,000 in toys in December will be selling a lot faster than the same 10,000 in toys in June, right? Like the velocities could be faster. There's could be more units selling, because what the BSR is the rank of how that's selling out of the entire sales category, right? So, if there's 1 million items in toys, this one has a rank of 10,000. And 10,000 on Amazon.ca and Amazon.com will have very different sales velocities as well, because the units sold on .com, for instance, are going to be a lot more than on .ca, just because it's a larger market and more is going on. So I want to clear up the common misconception that sales ranks on the Keepa, like drops, don't necessarily mean sales. Okay, so this is a common misconception that each time a sales rank drops, like from here to here, that means it's a sale. Okay, what that is actually a sales rank change. So the sales rank is calculated by Amazon once an hour, but Keepa isn't necessarily checking that listing every hour. It could be once a day. It could end up being once a week maybe, or even more, right? Because they're not checking all the time. And, like if I'm clicking on listings and I'm going to the same ones, then it might check more often, or people are running scans on tactical arbitrage or something, but it's not necessarily checking it all the time. So let's say that there's no change in a sales rank of 10,000 in toys. It's just flat. Well, it could stay that for, a whole week or more. Well, if you subscribe to only drops indicate sales, well, I can guarantee it's at 10,000, it's still selling a lot, but it's not dropping because it's not changing, right? So sometimes if people will think that, okay, like even look here. So we've got big drops here. It's definitely selling. But then we just kind of like, okay, a little up, down. Oh, this kind of going, right? Like this is still selling a ton. So just because we don't see a drop, but if it's maintaining a certain level, that's okay too, right? We use the sales rank and the drops to help us understand and rank our buying decisions and try to determine, okay, so if the sales rank is, maintaining at this level, or we keep seeing it dropping, then we know it's selling, and that gives us, a way to estimate what our sales velocity is. And you're going to learn that as you start to go and you get more comfortable and you see things, and then you're like, okay, this is a $10,000 rank in toys, or $100,000 rank in toys. Then that's how you're going to start to get more comfortable with understanding the sales ranks and where you are. Okay, so remember, drops, yes, that means a change in the sales rank, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not selling when it's going up. It just hasn't necessarily checked it, okay? So if you see something that's flat, but it's still a great sales rank, then you should be okay with that. Now, I want to give you a bit of an overview on a Keepa chart. And then I want to show you the settings that I use. So Keepa has all kinds of data, and you can turn on all these different things that you want to show you in this graph. For me, my business model is FBA. I don't do any merchant fulfilled. Generally, I don't care about merchant fulfilled to compete against them, because the hierarchy to me is, if it's FBA, it is the most trusted because it's sitting in Amazon and customers see that and they have a Prime membership and they don't have to pay for shipping and they know it's sitting in an Amazon warehouse and Amazon's going to deliver it to them and they feel good. Then the next one is the fulfilled by merchant, which is I buy it and then that merchant has to ship it out directly to me. I don't have the same level of trust. So I probably won't pay more. I would pay a premium for that Prime versus the merchant fulfilled. So I'm more concerned with the FBA offers usually. So as you see on this chart, this is a Days of Wonder Ticket to Ride. We've got everything here. So this is the dollar value. Everything here that's in orange, this is Amazon is selling it, and they're selling it at $52.99. So you can unclick all of these and have nothing. So what we want to see, these are what's important to me. Sales rank number 1, right? We just talked about that. So I want to see there's drops, and I want to see what the sales rank amount is, like what the rank is. I want to know that. I want to see if Amazon is selling it. Okay. So all this now, this orange line that's in here is what Amazon is selling it for. And as you can see, it was going down, down, down. and then it just dropped off, which is why it shows up in this deals tab that we get to. More on that later. So right now, this is now $25. This is probably a pretty good candidate for an Amazon flip. I'd buy it for 20 and maybe I sell it for 48. But anyhow, so now I know this is what Amazon has and this is their price. And then I want to look at the new third-party FBA. So this is what I usually want to see. So back here, there's no third parties. Then there's some third parties that came in here and where they're priced. And now they kind of tend to follow along with Amazon on this example. Right? So, that's what I want to know is what other sellers are. And the other thing is if this was to go out of stock, then, and I'll show you an example of that in a minute, that's when we want to see, okay, if Amazon's out of stock, what are the other third-party sellers at? What's the buy box at? That's what I want to see. So then we got the buy box. Okay, so that's this here. So if you hover over to, if stuff gets a little cloudy, just start unclicking them. But this is where the buy box is, and this is particularly important sometimes when you've got suppressed buy boxes or Amazon's out of stock and we're selling it at a higher price point. Okay, so this is usually what I keep things on. The third-party merchant fulfilled, I don't use that much, but maybe if you're competing against a lot of those people, then you want to be aware of that. I'm not too concerned usually about used or warehouse deals. That doesn't bother me. I'm not, if somebody wants to buy something used and damaged, that's fine. I'm not competing against them. They want to buy it, great. I'm selling brand new stuff. Then down here, we've got the sales ranks. And I told you, you can turn on and off, sub ranks. Like everything has a main rank, and then sometimes they have sub ranks depending on this. So this is a board game. It's got two. I mean, the ranks generally mirror each other. If there's something wonky that happens and they go crazy. But I mean, the fact is if it sells more, if it's a better rank in toys and games, it's going to be a better rank in board games, right? So all I care about usually is just this rank that I'm seeing here. That's what's important to me, and that's the main category rank. Now, down here, we also have ratings, review count, new offers, used offers. This can be important, okay? If Keepa, for some reason, wasn't looking at a listing very often, and the data wasn't there and it wasn't showing sales drops, well, we can also look at, hey, if the review count is going up, then people are buying it and leaving reviews. So if there was no sales rank data up here, I could deduce and I could figure out, hey, if the review count's going up, then that thing's selling. So that makes me feel better too. The other thing I want to see is the new offer. So this is what the competitors are doing, right? So other competitors that are coming in to sell this product, I mean, for the longest time, we just had, we got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I bet now with this big drop, we're going to get some people that are going to do Keepa flips. So if we came back to this probably in a month, your new offer count will probably be up to like 30. I don't know. I'm just guessing, but it might be. So let's keep going. What else do we have here? You've got community tracking, statistics. We'll go more into this later in some of our tracking. But right now, this is, if you look up this item on the main Keepa website, this is what you're going to see. Now let's flip over to, I've got this pulled up, Lego Flower Bouquet. This is on .com. This is a big seller. It's on discount now. So when I have the Chrome plugin, this is what shows up. So this is just an Amazon listing that anybody can see. Mine looks different. I've got an AZ Insight here, which gives me all kinds of data. And this is a great plugin. I'll put a link down below and helps estimate monthly sales. Got my BSR rating. Like all this information is really quick and easy to get, which is great. And this helps me make buying decisions, quick calculations. If I buy that at 47 and I sell it at 70 and I buy it at 48, like would I make money? It's got me what's the break-even price I need to, all kinds of things. Okay. But then as we scroll down, here's the Keepa plugin. So it's the same data that I showed you before, but it's right there on the listing. You're not going out, and you can still adjust like days, year. Like here's an example. So let's go in, and I can zoom in here because we can see that Amazon was out of stock. So now I can start to see. Remember, let's turn everything off because it's all crowded. So we get our sales rank. Then we can see, okay, here's Amazon. Amazon comes in, they drop the price from 49 to 40, and then they kind of come in. They keep going out of stock. Oh, okay, that looks like an opportunity for most, first half of July, that was looking good. So what was the buy box doing? Okay, well, the buy box was mirroring Amazon, And what was, okay, there's our price here. So our third-party FBA offers, we're all getting up to 59. So when Amazon was out of stock, all of a sudden we're jumping up to the 59.98 and hopefully getting some sales. And you can also see is, down at the bottom here, our view count's going up, our sales are going up. And the sales rank, yeah, it's, like 99, 87. Like, this is selling a lot, but we're not seeing massive drops in the price. It's slowly going up because Amazon isn't in stock as much. So, I mean, if something costs more, chances are it's not going to be sold for, it's not going to sell as many. So that's to be expected. And then we saw it really jump up, and then Amazon came in on a sale, and the sales rank, did awesome again. So this now is on this main listing with the plugin. And then you can start to do some other things here. Like we can track the product. So this is super duper important. This is if I'm interested in trying to flip this, right? Like I want to know if it hits a certain price point. So if it's always at 49 and I say, hey, I want to know if it ever hits 40, I can do this and I can say, okay, tell me where it's going to go. Send me an email, send me a notification when it gets to 40. Or maybe I want it even to 30, 39. Doesn't matter. See, if you click on this, it shows you kind of what the current price is. And, okay, these various percentages, what would your target be? So we can set some of these by default. And I'm going to show you the key settings now because this is more data here. But I want to show you my settings that I use. So let's go back to Keepa Desktop. Let's go to my settings. Go to website. So these are all the settings that I use. And feel free to change them. I change them sometimes. I would probably start using these and then clicking things off as you don't need them. So I've got, here's the graphs that I'm showing. This is my default ranges, close-up view. These are the things I want to see. The tracking mode, you can use basic, advanced, or pro. I use basic a lot, but I flipped on pro to do this. I mean, basic just gives me, hey, track it if it hits here, but pro gives you a lot more options, if it's higher and lower and, different buy box prices. If you're only looking at a couple SKUs you're trying to manage or you're deep on those, then maybe you want to turn those features on. And then desired price reduction, this is a default. So when you want to track it and what it currently is, that's when it automatically populates with that like $30 or $40 or whatever you want. So you can adjust those. These are all just defaults. I set mine to a year. I want to know I've got a couple things that I track that do lightning deals, and I like to flip those. So I want to get those emails and find out when those lightning deals are on. The re-alert. So if you trigger the alert, when do you want it to come back? So if you're tracking items that are coming in and out of stock and you want to know really quick and, it comes in one day and then maybe you miss it and, it comes back again the next day, then you want to keep that short. Okay. Same thing if there's any coupons and whatnot. Languages, default views. This is all what I keep it at. I mean, feel free to start to change it, but this is what works for me. If you got to pause the video and take a screenshot and match up yours, I'd suggest you do it. But I'd start with this, and then as you start to go and you figure out, okay, what am I looking at? What is important to me? Then, that's kind of, okay, now let's start to customize it. Okay. So now we've got set up. I've walked you through kind of what the Keepa graphs are and how they work. And now we're going to dive into a little bit more detail. Okay, we're going to dive a little deeper now into a good listing because I want to show you some more detailed stats on the Keepa plugin. Okay, so this is a Lego hovercraft. We're doing this right now in Q4. This is hot. This is a great toy. Hot set. So we've got some good action here to look at. Okay, so this is our graph, and let's go back out to let's just take a month. Because we could really see some cool things here in this example, right? So as we go along here, we've got Amazon at $29.99, and then we've got third parties at $42.98. Okay, we got that up top. You can see in the bottom, our view count's going up. That's awesome. But the new count offer is going up, and then it starts to go down. So our new count offer is going down because Amazon is going out of stock. When Amazon goes out of stock, the buy box is jumping up to $50, $49.99. The buy box was, well, even lower. Buy box should be about 29, right, when Amazon's in, but the buy box is going up. And when Amazon's out, the third-party sellers are getting in. So as you can see, as we slowly go up, the buy box now 51, 52. So the buy box is going up. The price that people are charging are going up. And the new count offer is going down because people are selling out. So this is a hot toy. Amazon goes out of stock. This is a great flip. People are buying it or have bought it or buying other places, selling it now on Amazon. They're getting $54.99 and it's selling fast. And as you can see, the sales rank is still maintaining great. 600, 500, 600, 600, 500. I mean, it's maintaining in that 500 or 600 sales rank in toys. And, Amazon barely is in for like a hot minute. And I'm sure it's selling out instantly if it does come in. And the offer count is going down. I mean, we're all the way down to 19, 18 offers here. And the price just keeps going up. So we can see that. Now, if you click on, I want to point out a few things here that are kind of neat. So this will open up a link to this in the U.S. So it's $36.90, let's say, in the U.S. Here it is here in Canada and in Mexico. So you can click there and see the links to the different ones real quick. Community tracking. So these are people that are tracking the products like we talked about. These are, kind of just gives you an idea if a bunch of people are looking at it and flip it. And this one has 57. They've got 91 users tracking it. So that's pretty good. So this is where you could track it. So we got our price history. We can go track the product. This is where you want to set up those Keepa alerts. If you say, okay, let me know when they're in. I mean, something like this, Amazon's in at 29. I wouldn't set it at 29. I'd set it, like $35. Like I don't care if it's, I want to know if Amazon basically comes in. I can put $99 here. And that or below, I'm interested, but it doesn't matter. So let's put 35. So you can do that, or this is where you could also do other interesting things where, hey, I want to know, this is for a third-party seller. So we know that Amazon's going out. And maybe I've got a bunch of these sitting here, and I want to know when it hits my target price point. So what I could do is I can click this and say, okay, you let me know when it gets to $50.89, the highest ever, or I want 60 or 70. You can use this to tell you, okay, now it's hitting the price point. So this is a Lego set that's going to retire. So in theory, it should keep going. Well, I'm interested when it gets to $60. So I could send an alert here to say, okay, tell me when it hits 60, or when the new offer count drops below 24 and there's only 10 sellers left or something like that, right? So depending on, how deep you are on something or a SKU, you can use this to help plan your business. Now, here's where it gets kind of interesting. We've got data. So you click on the data tab, this is what you're going to see. This is just a multitude of, like frequently bought together, all its rankings, codes, like we got all that, sizes, great. Historical pricing. And then we can click on offers, which is kind of cool. So you can unclick all these different things, but here we can actually see, what the other competitors are. So this is the Weenie Hut, and you can see here, this is his pricing. So he or she are slowly taking their pricing up, and you can see the units they had 21.40, okay, and then that dwindled down to almost nothing, 3.2, a couple here or there, and then maybe they get a few more. Oh, see, they restocked there, sent in 20. And stock is going down. So it gives you an idea on some of your competitors. Now, this is a fast-moving toy, but, you can look at the different solds and assumptions. Again, is this perfect? No, but it's a good estimate, and especially a listing like this where Keepa is looking at it frequently, this helps. Also, the buy box statistics. So as you start to get into ones where maybe Amazon isn't there and you're selling above kind of a normal selling price, then you want to see, okay, who is getting the buy box and, what kind of share do they have? Is there somebody that's dominating it? Toyberg looks like they have a lot. I mean, they're getting 9%. The Weenie Hut's getting 8% of it. But I mean, look at the review count. Like Toyberg, these guys are massive. The Weenie Hut, they're not bad either. But Brick Marketplace, these review counts give me an idea of how big that seller is. So, okay, they're getting a lot of the buy box. But I mean, you only get one or two, who cares? As soon as you get that number and this sales rank, this thing's going to fly. Buy box use statistics, I don't care too much about. But these will give you a little bit more detail, especially if you're trying to, really maximize the amount of money and you're looking at your competitors and, okay, when are they going to sell out and how much stock is left and do they seem to restock? I mean, look at this guy, it's like 56, 55, and then he obviously got his right price and then he's pretty much gone to nothing. So it looks like he sold out. Whereas like the Weenie Hut, it looks like he brought in, this is Toy Mix, sorry. The Weenie Hut, it looks like he restocked a bit. So he's probably got some, sends in a batch, sends in another batch, and they sell out. Whereas some of these guys, boom, just dropped off. Yep, sold my stock, got nothing. Had some, now sold it all. So it helps you kind of figure out, okay, maybe one of my competitors has more. Is there more on the road? Have they sent it all in? Again, just more different types of data to help you, decide, hey, what am I going to, is this right for me? Does the pricing make sense? Does the sales ranks make sense? What are the competitors doing and what's going in? So how should I adjust my strategies? Okay, finally, I want to show you Keepa deals. Okay, so we're on the Keepa site. I've clicked on deals. And what you use this for is if you're doing Amazon flips. So Amazon flips are, I'm purchasing the item from Amazon. I will receive it. I will prep it or have my prep center prep it, send it back into Amazon, and I'm going to sell it in there. So what I'm looking for is stuff that goes on sale that I could buy cheap and sell it for a profit. Now, this deals tab, I'm on .ca right now. You can flip back and forth, whichever marketplace you want. And you click on the deals, and you can adjust all these settings on the side. And I'll show you just kind of where I start with. So I'm looking for deals that are by Amazon. I'm not interested in buying from third-party suppliers. I only want to buy from Amazon. So I click on Amazon. I want to see the day. I want those ones that just drop off really quick. You can switch this to week or month if you're looking for something that, like if it's dropping 5% a day and over the span of a week, then that's pretty good. But if it's just, if I only looked at it in a day, it wouldn't hit any of my charts here. So that's good, I find, for like shoes, for instance. You can adjust your ranges here and what you want to see and your absolute dollar. And, we've got some different options here. So this is how I want to see it. And I want to sort by percentage. You can sort by newest or the price or the drop, but I want to see, okay, what are the biggest ones that are dropping? If something was, really happening a lot. And again, you might switch it up. You might say, okay, you know what? Show me what the newest ones are. So this is the one that just came up, so I need to jump on it before anybody else does, right? But I like to start with this. Let's see the percentage and see what's coming in. So play around with these, but you got these to start with. Now you can go to show all, or you can go to different games, video games, whatnot. I'm going to go to the toys and games. And this is, kind of what I do. So if I hover over this is crazy, $60. Like, how big is this? But I see that it's up high and it dropped off like a rock. So I can click on it. Yeah, $73. Yeah, blind bag, mini figures, 18-piece case. Well, that's interesting. $5.99. There's 18 pieces in a case. It's usually $73. That might be something to take a look at. Then you would dig in. See, here's another sell at 23. Oh, maybe that is a decent flip. Okay. I don't want to go too deep into that right now, but I just want to show you what you're going to look. So you can hover over. As you can see, like, for instance, this one. Okay, it's usually down here, and then for whatever reason it was way up, and maybe it's come back down. Like, I wouldn't click on that. I just move on, because chances are, let's see. It's usually down here at $19.99 for whatever reason, jumped up to $44, and now it's back down to $19. Like, yeah, not interested in that, right? So by just doing a quick hover over, you can kind of see, okay, what does the chart look like? See, that's up and down. See, this looked okay. That might be something. Let's click on that. So it's normally at 16, and he's dropped all the way down to 9, and it's just dropped off like that. That might be cool. Now, the fees probably don't make sense because it's only 44% drop, but still, I might have a look at that. So sometimes, your absolute might be 40% or 50% or 60%, but, I like to loosen it up a little bit because you just never know what you might find. I don't like to go too strict on it. But look at this, 24, 30. Oh, that drops down to 17. Now it's at 32. So 17 seems to be the lowest, 29. Maybe look at that. But this is how you can find deals. So let's go to, I was talking about clothes and shoes, right? So these shorts are just like an absolute drop. Normally at 20, and now it's dropped all the way to $3.88. It sells a little bit now. This is the sales rank. You got to watch some of these clothing, right? I mean, this is an extra small, and the sales rank sometimes might be on the total parent. So small, medium, large, extra large, not just the extra small one. So I would check that out. But this is kind of interesting. If all of a sudden it's at $20 and now it's down to $3, that seems pretty cheap. I might have a look at that. But you get the idea. Then that's when you might say, okay, let's look at it by week. See if that opens up anything. Right? Because I said sometimes you see them where they slowly start to go down over the span of a week. And then, 64% in a week. Normally at 14, yeah, see it jumped up, it came back down. That's kind of a false lead. But this is where you can find some really good things to flip. So if we go day, and maybe we go for newest, and you could tighten up your ranges. You're like, I'm only interested in something that's 50 or more, and then this is where I get. Okay, let's look at that. Oh, it's normally 54, and now it looks like it just came down to 17. That might be interesting. Okay, and this is how you find Keepa deals. And even if, you look at it, what I find is I look at the percentage, and a lot of times I'll miss stuff. Like I'm too late. It's already gone back up in price, let's say. But that's okay, because I'll set the Keepa alert, right? I've already done some of the work now to get here, and if I miss this, I would just track the product and say, hey, let me know if it happens again. And you'd be surprised if you're always doing these. It's kind of like planting seeds, and coming back and reap the harvest later. So if you do that often, when you see something, you've already looked at it, you spent the 5 minutes or 30 seconds or 2 minutes or whatever to look at it and do some of the work, why not set the Keepa alert? So if it does come back in, boom, you get an email, oh, stuff just showing up in my inbox to buy, right? So that is the other really cool thing about Keepa, the deals. So far I've showed you how Keepa kind of works, how to get set up, what your settings look like, how to track things, and how to find some deals, and hopefully how to read the listings. So if you start to understand these, and it's going to take some practice, but as you continue to practice and you get more confident, this is what you need. Understanding how Keepa works, understanding what sales rank is versus the drop. Drop doesn't necessarily mean sales, but understand what a sales rank is, trying to then figure out what the velocities are. These are key lessons and tools. If you understand these and you can master this from the start, you don't even need to master, but just get pretty good at it. It's going to help you in your business. You're going to do pretty well, because that alone is going to help you find these things that are going to end up being profitable. So hopefully this helped. Again, hit subscribe. I've got some more videos coming on some more in-depth Keepa stuff, but I wanted this to kind of be the ultimate beginners. Hey, this is how Keepa works. These are the key settings that you should use. And hopefully this helps you, and see you in the next video.